Hi there, V gang. It's Govi Munson. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If it's your first time coming through to my channel, I'd like to say thank you so much for coming through. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment. And if you're a regular subby, welcome back. On this episode, as you can tell, we're baking buns, also known as Mabhanzi in Zimbabwe, or rolls. So, how we're going to do this is pretty simple. The ingredients are in the beginning of the video. You're going to put in your wet ingredients together. That's your milk, your heavy cream, and melted butter. You're going to mix that. It's going to be warm, not hot, warm. Then you're going to put it on the side for a little bit whilst that settles before you adding your yeast to the wet ingredients. But we'll get to that soon. So you mix that up a bit to ensure that everything is mixed up nice and good. Then you're adding your yeast and mix it up as well. Onto our dry ingredients, adding your flour into a separate bowl. Then you're going to add in sugar. Mix, mix, mix. Ensure that the sugar is evenly spread. And then the salt. Mix it as well. Mix that well. Then you're going to create a center parting in the flour as to where you're going to place in your wet ingredients. Pour in your wet ingredients and mix well. Mix this mixture until there is no visible milk solution, and also until the flour dough mixture is not sticky. It will begin as sticky, but when it gets to a point where it's not even sticking onto the bowl that you're using, then you know you've made good progress. Ensure to mix it well. Onto the bowl, you're going to transfer it onto a flat surface. A surface that you would have applied some flour onto. And then you place your dough there. Now you're going to need this flour. You can apply some flour to your hands to ensure that your hands are not sticky. You're going to knead this dough mixture until there are no visible breaks in the dough mixture. Once done, you probably will need to mix the dough for 15 to 25 minutes, depending with the amount of force that you're also going to be using. You're going to oil a separate bowl in which you're going to place the dough that you have been kneading. After you've placed it inside, you're going to cover the bowl with wrapping paper, and then you're going to set it aside for an hour. The hour is for the dough to rise. This is an hour later. The dough has risen. We are going to open the wrapping paper and transfer the risen dough to a flat surface where we're going to knead it and cut it into separate pieces and roll the buns, roll the dough. Press it down to remove excess air. Same process, we're going to apply some flour onto the flat surface, spread it out, and then we're going to place our risen dough. Can you see that? That's a good piece of dough. Now we're going to knead this, and then we're going to cut it preferably into 24 pieces if possible, but those would be small but many buns. I decided to go for a bigger size, so these were 9 buns that we were able to produce from this batch. You get a pizza cutter or you can use a knife, and you're going to separate cut out the dough. Can you see how it's cutting so nice? Yes, that's what your dough should be looking like. Just here counting the cuts. How many rolls, buns am I going to be making? Here we are, just giving some form of shape. If there are any cuts that are a bit too big, you can cut off some extra dough and place it onto another cut or make a new cut. So we're going to just roll these cuts separately. I decided to use a foil tray that I'm going to place with parchment paper. You can obviously use an oven tray directly, but I chose to use a foil tray. So after each roll, when you're satisfied with the shape, you will place the rolls in the tray. Basically mold it into what you want it to be. Which is great. For the tray that I was using, the parchment paper was so large, so I decided to cut out the excess parchment paper. So once done placing the buns, the rolls to be into your tray, you're going to cover this up again for yet another hour to allow the buns time to rise. So you get your wrapping paper and you're going to wrap your tray to ensure that no air is penetrating in, and you're going to put it aside for yet another hour. This is an hour later. The buns have surely risen, doubled in size, which is great, evidently so. They look good and they feel so fluffy and soft, and they feel good. So now we're going to glaze on top of our buns. There are several things that you could use to glaze. You can use flour, you can use butter, you can use sugar. Here I decided to use an egg yolk, some water, and some milk to create an egg wash. They go for 15 to 25 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius in an oven. So this is buns. I've poked them with a toothpick to test to see that they are done. And this is what they look like. They look so great. They are golden brown, which is how I like them. And here I am trying to test them, but this was an epic fail because these buns were straight from the oven. They were hot, like no joke. So I literally tried to show you what they look like inside and how you break them, but they were way too hot. I was just burning myself. So I decided to abort mission and wait for the buns to cool. And then once they had cooled down, I came back for take 2 because wow, this was an epic fail. Name. Alrighty, so this is after the buns had cooled down, more favorable and more friendly. So this is what your buns should be looking like. Nice healthy looking bun. If you break it, can you see that? Can you see how man, the texture is perfect. They were so fluffy and soft and nice. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Please make it to the end of my video. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you in my next upload. Bye.